is it a paid mentorship? Is it a buddy that you met on, at Urea who also wants, who's been doing this? Is it your new group? I love that one of the things you're building is, let's go through this next step together in our 5 or 10 week course, and then have that cohort of people at that level. So I think that's critical. Can I pick up the phone or send an email and like, Jean, like, what do you think about this? Like, am I thinking through this correctly? Or who do you know that does this if I have a question? So important to have somebody to bounce that idea off of. And I think that's critical. Or, there's always the option of, if you're ready to go, or you're almost ready to go, ask someone who's doing it. Hey, can I bring you a deal? Will you walk me through it? You keep I'll bring the deal. You keep the profit, walk me through it so I feel safe, and then I'm going to feel confident. But I think you guys are providing that, and a lot of people provide that in their groups and training and mentorship.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. The network of people, that's why the 5 week we're going to do is that getting together with just not one person, not just me and you, having that brain of power together on a weekly intense basis that wants to succeed just like you do is crucial. Why do you think me and Nathan talk off air, right? We need each other to bounce things off of, and just ideas and thoughts and brainiac stuff. So well said.
Yeah, all the time. And we constantly do that. Like, we've got our own private Facebook group for our class. We'll do a private Facebook group so that we can just chat together and say, okay, so what are the challenges? What are the things you're coming across? And what are the things that you're wondering about? What does this acronym mean? Anything like that, where you're just not sure. Yeah, there's ways to find out. And if it's part of a group that you joined, where you can have a private group, so you're not putting that out on the World Wide Web and feel like an idiot, that's fine. And then you've got that kind of that safe space to do that.
Yeah. And if you have a question, someone else has the same question. Nobody's just saying it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nowadays, ITV's out there, LTV's out there, BTV's out there. These new acronyms are coming out because of the way the market is. And if you don't know what it is and you ignore it, you're going to have problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that with collaborative talking allows you to actually partner with someone without actually partnering with them. Right. Allowed you to connect with someone and say, hey, I'm looking to exit this deal. What does everyone think about the situation? And having that confidence and trust in that group to really dive into it and solve those issues. We're talking noteworthy. I think one of the people who spoke that got the most attention was Ken, who literally had the room write down their fear, like true ultimate fear of, if I fail, or what your fear is, your spouse, whatever. And it was really cool to see that opening up and that having that true feelings was really crucial. And like Nathan said, we have a private Facebook group of about, 8, 9 investors. We've been doing it for 7 years, and we share our private conversation to each other and bounce real true ideas off of. You need that team, not that person, but that team to really bounce ideas off of. That we may not have the experience, or it may not be an area, and you may have someone who has that experience in there.
Well, and we share successes and challenges and failures in there as well. And and we always say, Gabe, he's got these amazing deals.
Shout out to Gabe Cass, right? Like, damn him, right? But he's killing it, right? And he's killing it his own way. Yeah. Right. So it's all different stuff. Stacy made a comment, the best way to partner with someone who's done the kind of deal you want to do. We've talked about mentoring, and my Facebook group that I'm offering, the person with the most comments, whatever, the 2 weeks we'll do a mentoring. But we have to realize that to partner with me, Nathan, and stuff like that, that's a lot of time of our time, right? And we can't always teach one person for weeks and weeks, because it just doesn't work out well for both sides. It's frustrating. So I agree the fact that partnering is good, but having that collective group is even better. So yeah, definitely look at stuff. Candace, I want to know, now that you're getting experienced and you have this recognition of people, and you've been to the conferences, and someone says, I'm stuck, what question would you ask them to figure out where they're stuck, how to get over that feeling of being stuck.
Ah,
I don't know what to do. I'm lost. How can they do your professionalism, right? How do you get to that level of, I don't know?
We're gonna settle in, boys. We're gonna have a therapy session. Time for some group counseling. I've been there. I've for sure been there. And I think we've all been there. If you haven't felt stuck, I don't think you're committed enough to the growth. Honestly, or you're just really, really freaking lucky. I don't know anyone like that, but don't tell me if that's you. It's really what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
What don't you know? If things were going the way you want them to, what would be different? Like, oh, I don't have anyone to call. Oh, I don't know about this thing that I heard. And I think when you can bring yourself back from the emotion, like name it. sorry, here's the therapist to me, like figure out like what is your emotion. It's like, I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm frustrated, I'm confused. Okay, great. Acknowledging that. Then it's the facts. It's like, we should not be making decisions from emotional place. We should be like figuring out what's real. Okay, what's real? I know some people. I'm in a Facebook group. There's a podcast. Do I know where to go? And I'm scared to do it. Okay. It's just like, I don't know. I think it all comes back to people. Who can I ask about this? If you tell me you're stuck, I'm going to say, how can I help you? I think almost anybody would say that.
Yeah.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think sometimes is walking them through that issue or problem or concern is the key thing to figuring this out.
Yeah. And I think I have more time than you guys do for this right now. And so someone I met at the last conference is a little bit behind me and was talking to me. And I said, look, you're not at the point of buying assets, but you're curious. Like, let's jump on a Zoom. I'll show you a tape I reviewed, and like, I'll show you how I'm thinking about it, and we'll go through it together. I'm not the expert in the room, but I'm happy to share what I know and show you how I'm starting with this, and see where I can direct you, beyond what I know.
Yeah, I think what you say makes a lot of sense, right? I think for a lot of new people, for us, we hear, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do. I can't help that. We need you really to kind of figure that out and help us help you. Right?
For real, you need to know where you're stuck.
Yes. Thank you. Well said.
You need to know what's
Candace
wrong.
we love. Yes. Yes.
But you do, like Ken was saying, like, you have to sometimes dig down a few layers to figure it out. So if you don't know that, when you know what you need, find someone and say, I realize what I need. Can you help me? Or do you know someone who can? Then it's easier.
If you were to do it all over again, you would do the trainings and stuff like that. You would do that formal education, the resources, all stuff. Do you think if you started over again and just didn't do anything, watch YouTube videos, you would be anywhere close to where you are today?
Oh no. No, but you know what? It would have given me, if I had started there, I think I would have had more understanding about the space before I got started. So it might have accelerated that, but no, absolutely not. I mean, like I said, I learn a ton from your podcast. I listen to a few others, and I learn something every single time. But that's the really slow route to, getting change in your life and making progress in this space. That's the slow route. That's when you're driving home from work saying, I don't like that, I want something different in my life. But when you decide that you're serious, that's just not going to cut it for me.